I don't know why I'm happy. Do you know what, actually? I actually have a few reasons to why I'm happy. I'm not going to lie. I'm happy that we're doing another Redmond roundup. I'm happy that you're all here and you've joined me for today's Redmond roundup. And I'm also happy that Liverpool are going to be playing, and they're going to be playing after a nice little break for today's game. Listen, mate, that's a belt, a little break, 4 days, that's like paradise, that's like a holiday for Liverpool right now, and a long one at that. It's mad, the football that we've been playing, so we will take any little 4 days that we can get. But no, we've got Liverpool versus Wolves. It's a massive game. Obviously, Liverpool need to win, and I say this about every game, but it's like, especially when you drop points in your previous game and you're a team that's going for the title, you need to win this game. And today we're just going to be previewing, obviously, what I usually do in previews. If you're new, I'll explain that quick. We're going to be talking about, well, I've got an injury update, which is fantastic news, by the way. Like, honestly, if I haven't had good news on this channel for a minute, this is breaking, this is huge. So we're going to go through that as well, and that's for Liverpool, by the way, not Wolves. Match fun facts as well, so as I always do. Wolves injuries, and there's actually one thing that I've got to mention, which is actually dead. Not nice and sad, to be fair, and it's dead unfortunate. Also, players to watch out for that Wolves have, and also Wolves' strengths and weaknesses. But before we get into any of that, I just want to say thank you to the sponsor, OneFootball. Make sure you go in the link, the top link in the description, to download their app. Today's video is brought to you by OneFootball. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this video, and make sure that you go over in the top link of the description and download their app. It is fantastic, people. I didn't know there were so many countries, so many leagues for you to go and view information from. Latest news, latest transfers. You can also see all the latest updates and live scores when your team is playing. Yes, you can choose your preferred team. So for my team, it's Liverpool. You can see all the latest information on them. But not only that, people, it doesn't only go that far. You can go and see anything to do with teams in the Premier League, anything to do with teams in the Champions League, Europa League, any team across Europe, any team across the world. You can go and have a look and see how they're doing in their leagues, and any news based on what their team is going through. Make sure that you download the OneFootball app, people. It is fantastic. And obviously, I want to thank them once more for supporting this channel. Make sure you go and support them, because they support us massively. One massive big shout out to OneFootball again, and yeah, top link in the description, people. Thank you. Anyway, people, make sure you go and download the OneFootball app. It's fantastic. I use it every day. I even used it before they were sponsoring these videos, and I'm not lying to you there, people. So when they asked to sponsor them, it was very easy to promote. Let me just say that, and let me say that for free. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be doing all them things as I mentioned before, as well as the starting 11 prediction and the score prediction. Without further ado, people, let's get into it. So, injuries is the first thing that we'll talk about, and it's actually good for once. You actually don't understand how, like, relieved and how happy and, like, how just boss that is, the fact that we've actually got some good news. Now, the news is that Trent and Naby back in training now. Does that put them in contention for the game? I assume so. However, it's like it's not confirmed that they will start. Some people will say what they want. I will get to me starting 11 prediction in a bit. But not only is that great news, they're back in training, and it's also there's been an update on Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I haven't written it down actually. I only saw it very briefly, but it was Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and another player that I can't quite remember. We've got that many people out injured. Basically an update on them and how they're doing, and apparently their rehabilitation to getting back on the pitch is going really well. So we could be in a good position soon. Touch wood, more players will probably go out injured, and we might get unlucky, but we can only take good news when we get good news, people. So right now, let's just take the good news while we've got it, because that is good news as far as good news goes, and it's probably one of the better pieces of news we've had all season. So that's the injury update. Trent and Naby are back, my friends. Right, so as for the match fun fact, so this is like a Liverpool and Wolves head-to-head. Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 43 Premier League home games, just in case people didn't know. This is at home, so that does come into play. Also, Liverpool have beat Wolves in the last 8 games out of the last 10 games. Liverpool have beat Wolves 8 times. Should have worded that better, but yeah. And also, the last time Wolves beat Liverpool was in the FA Cup, so kind of a good record against Wolves, but that being said, stats are for mugs. I always say it, and if you go back to my last preview, these type of head-to-head stats were all in Liverpool's favour as well, and Brighton got a point against us. Regardless, how that happens. Anyway, Wolves injuries now. Johnny, their left wing back, he's out, as well as I can't remember his first name. I've only put a second. I think it's Roman Saiz or something along those lines. But he's a midfielder for Wolves. He's actually a very good midfielder. But at the same time, I don't know if he's a regular starter. Let me know if you're a Wolves fan. So I don't know if that's a huge loss. One thing that is a huge loss in many different ways, Raul Jimenez. And that's just one thing that I want to mention, and I actually just want to give me condolences to him and his family, because that was serious what happened there, mate. Like, just even hearing the noise, I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but just hearing the noise that the connection made with David Luiz, it weren't ideal to see that in the game. And I just thought, you know what, mate, like, you can't be that ferocious when it comes to headers. Like, tackles, fair enough. Like, if you're going to break a leg, that's one thing, but breaking a skull or going into someone like the way David Luiz went into Raul Jimenez is a completely different case scenario. So, just in my opinion, bit far. Do you know what I mean? Bit far, but at the same time, like I said, man, just best wishes go to Raul Jimenez. It came out that he cracked his skull or something along those lines, and we always know that is never good when any part of you gets hurt. So, best wishes go to him, best prayers go to him. And at the same time, as much as I actually hate to say it, people, that's good for Liverpool, not the injury itself. And, like, listen, I'm not saying, like, that's good. That shouldn't even be brought up in the topic. But what I'm trying to offer, the fact that Raul Jimenez isn't playing. Why? Because he's boss. Why? Because he scores goals. Why? Because he's a threat. And with these susceptibilities that we've got to our backline right now, he could probably take advantage of that. So I'm happy that he's out of this game. I'm not happy for why, and I'd never wish any injury. I wouldn't even wish that on, like, who's a player that I hate right now? Jordan Pickford. Like, I shouldn't even really be making a joke of this, to be fair, but it's like Jordan Pickford, I wouldn't wish that on him. I'd wish for Jordan Pickford, like, maybe a broken finger, or maybe a bit more than a broken finger, but certainly not that. And Raul Jimenez, I've said it multiple times, but best wishes to him, and again, massive for us, and a big loss for Wolves. So that's devastating. But players to watch out for, the ones that are actually fit and ones that will most likely start this game. João Moutinho might be old, but listen, mate, he's got a brain like any other. He's very good at football as well. He's got great ability. He can cause problems for us. And listen, I'm glad that Henderson is most likely available for this game, but it's like, he can cause you a problem. He can cause you a problem. Even if he's not there for the whole 90 minutes, he can pop up in one or two occasions, and we need to watch out for João Moutinho. Ruben Neves, one person that I'm sure most Liverpool fans will take. I'm not sure if I'm included in that, but just because of the depth that we've got in midfield when everyone's fit. But right now, of course, in the situation that we're in, quality player, can score a goal from anywhere. Again, quality, just like in terms of, I keep saying quality like it's just some overused term, and you're right, but that's the only way you can describe that midfield for Wolves. It's actually boss, and they control games. João Moutinho and Ruben Neves will be a problem. Podence and Neto on the wings. Two players that, before Jota was doing what Jota's doing right now, before Jota's doing what Jota does, basically, these were the two players that people were saying, they're probably better. So even though that's been proven to be absolutely incorrect in all fashions, it doesn't mean that we write them off, because they have got quality. And even though Trent is back in training, it doesn't mean he's back for this game. And if he's not starting and Nico is, we know that could be a problem, and that they could target that side. And whoever plays against Nico, either Podence or Neto, it's going to be a problem. Adama Traore, not being in great form this season. However, let me just offer to you, he's Adama Traore. He's quick, he can beat any man. And even though he can't really finish, now that I've just said that, he probably will score. It's just boss the way, like, he turns up in the big games, and that's why I've always wanted Adama Traore. Put him in a team where, like, the players are boss, and even though the Wolves players are boss, Liverpool's players is like a level above. You know what I mean? So if you put Adama Traore in that team, different story. But he hasn't been finishing his dinner recently, which is great. And Connor Cody is another person who I put on the list as well. Scout centre back, leader for that Wolves team. If he's not there, it's a massive thing, and yeah, he's just boss, man. He's quality, Connor Cody, so he's a threat. And then lastly, strengths and weaknesses, and then we'll get into the starting 11 as well as the score prediction. They're good at protecting the lead, so if they get the lead, they're very good at keeping it, which is actually quite mad in today's game. You know, when you think about the age that we're in, it's quite difficult to keep a lead. So even though if there's any team that can defeat that statistic or that trait about Wolves, it's Liverpool. However, it's not a good thing to know that, with the fact that there's been games where we've gone 1-0 down, and even though we've come back, it's usually against teams that are susceptible at keeping leads, especially against good teams. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I don't want this, but it'll be interesting to see if Wolves do go in the lead and if they can keep it. Also, they score goals through individual skill. Sounds very basic, let me explain. Like I said, Ruben Neves, João Moutinho, these players create things by themselves. Like, this is the thing, Nuno has got a team of players there that are all happy with each other, but not only happy with each other, they're all very good and very, like, different things, and it's boss to see. However, one thing that they do struggle with is putting away their chances, and with the fact that they haven't got Raul Jimenez in this game, that's going to be even harder because he's the one who gets the majority of their goals. So that is everything regarding Wolves. Now let's get into the starting 11 prediction as well as the score prediction. This is going to be interesting. So in goal, well, I've gone with a 4-2-3-1, and even though that's not my favourite formation, again, just with injuries, this is what I want to go with. So in goal, I'm going with Kelleher. No, Adrian just doesn't get in the conversation anymore, people. Let's be real. Adrian just isn't good enough. I've said this for time. It's like, on his best day, he's average. On his best day. And that just does not come near enough. And I can only really think of maybe 1, 2, 3 performances where he's looked good. You know what I mean? But good. Like, even in the Super Cup game, on his full match debut, he looked good, but he didn't look boss. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say he looked world class, even though I was chatting that on the day, to be fair. And I love Adrian for everything that he's done and the fact that he's come to Liverpool, won a couple of trophies. But the only accomplishment Liverpool can get out of Adrian now is if we can actually sell him for a fee, because he's never been sold for a fee in his career. How crazy is that? And he's 34. So yeah, he just doesn't get in the conversation when obviously Alisson is out of the equation, and he is out of the equation. Therefore, I'm going with Kelleher. Plus, he looked like the Irish Casillas against fucking Ajax, so give him the chance because he looked amazing. Robbo left back. Some people will raise 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 eyebrows at what I've just said there. But Robbo, he's our best left back. Like I said, we've had a few days rest. If he's fit, I know we had a problem in his last game. I think we start, and we're playing against a good team. We need our best players, and he's probably been bar 1 or 2, and maybe I'm probably not even thinking about them. Robbo's probably been our best player, people. He's been amazing, and he's been our most consistent player, so he starts left back for me. And even though I wouldn't mind to see Shimaka start, he actually had a good performance against Adama Traore in the Europa League a couple of years ago. Oh no, it was last year, sorry, when he was playing for not Galatasaray, who was it? Olympiacos. Yeah, he actually had a good performance against Adama Traore in the Europa League, but it's still, I just want to see us start our best players, and you'll see the way forward that I'm going in a minute. Matip and Fabinho centre-backs. Again, start your best players. Trent right back. If he's 100% fit, I'd start Trent. And I've gone with the best back five, and you'll see this kind of carry out throughout the team, is because we've got a game against Midtjylland a couple of days after Sunday. And we do not need to go out full strength in that game whatsoever. Should we beat Midtjylland, whoever we start? Yes. Would it be half shit if we didn't beat Midtjylland? Probably, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. And we need to focus on the bigger picture and not just that one game. That's the one game where you don't need to focus on the next game. You can focus on the game after. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my opinion on it. So, Kelleher in goal, Robbo left back, Matip and Fabinho centre-backs, and Trent back in the right-back position, because even though Nico had a great performance and fair play to him, you know, the kids took over Anfield that night, I'd start Trent if he's 100% fit. That's just me. If I'm looking at him in training and he's got no possible, like he's getting no little strains, he's not pulling anything, it's not uncomfortable, and he's telling me he's alright, I'll start him, mate, happily. Midfield, and like I said, 4-2-3-1. So my 2 midfielders is Naby Keita, another person who came back into training. Again, I'm only going off if he's 100% fit. And Jordan Henderson. I want Gini rested. Defeats the whole argument I've just made about the back five. However, one thing I do want to offer, Gini has played so many minutes that we do need to just give him a rest, in my opinion. And I think we're seeing that in his performances. Not that he's playing bad, but just give him that one rest that he deserves. And I think even rest him for the Midtjylland game. Give him 2 games of full rest. Because the Wolves game, maybe you can't afford to do it, but if Naby Keita's fit and firing, you know, I'd back him to do well next to Henderson. I really, really would. So he had a good game in his last game, Naby, against Leicester. as well. So I'm alright with seeing Naby start again if he's 100% fit with Henderson as the two sort of DMs anyway. And then the front four: Firmino, Mane, Jota, Salah. And then even though Mane and people need a rest, they can rest for Midtjylland. So it's only Gini who will want to see really replaced in this game. However, people, I do not think that will happen in the slightest. I really don't. I think Klopp will go probably with like a 4-3-3. He'll probably start Curtis Jones somewhere. Don't see Naby Keita getting into the side, to be fair. I do think Gini will start. I think he's getting the most out of Gini, isn't he, at the moment? You know, Gini, it doesn't look like he's getting a new contract, even though I really want him to. And even if he does want considerably more wages, who's asked? He's Gini Wijnaldum, let him fucking do what he wants. So that's devastating. However, I think Jurgen's trying to get the most out of what left we've got of Gini, which I don't know is that much. But let me know in the comments down below what your starting 11 predictions will be. As for the score prediction, what am I going with here, people? Tough game. Everything I've spoke about has led me to think, like, what is this going to conclude? Because anything can happen. And if anyone can beat us, it's Wolves. They're in good form. So, even though we're the favourites and even with injuries, I feel like we should win. I think it'll be a tough game, man. That being said, I'm going for a Liverpool 3-1 win. Makes no sense when you say it's going to be a very tough game and then I give a scoreline. That sounds like that we're half thrashing them. I think it'll be a tough game. But I just get the feeling we might finish our dinner a little bit more. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like if we start that front four, then I feel like Diogo Jota's got a point to prove against this former club, 100%. Massive point to prove because he weren't even starting in the Wolves team. So, when you put it in that perspective, I'm confident. Jota's fit and firing. Firmino's looking better. Salah's scoring goals. The only one who's kind of out of form is Mane. And I'm not sad to say that because I love Mane, but he's out of form. It happens. He's been playing week in, week out, and he doesn't just do what Salah does. He does the track and back business well, just like really well. So that's why it's starting for this game, because you know he's still going to work hard and put in a shift. Whether he gets a goal or an assist is a different matter. But when Jota's fit and firing and Salah can get goals, you shouldn't really have to rely on Mane to get goals. Does that make sense? Firmino and Mane can be the creativity. Everyone else can do their job. And the engine will hopefully run smoothly when we see 2,000 fans back in the stadium as well. Crazy. I'm not going to be there. People was asking me if I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be in the stadium, which I'm a bit sad about. But at the same time, not too sad about, because I'm happy to ease my way back into games. But with all the stuff being open, I only live 15 minutes away from Anfield, so I'm thinking maybe go there on a match day, go in a pub, and instead of doing a live match reaction, maybe do a vlog out for the day. So I don't know, I'm thinking of a few things, people, for the channel, but bear with me. Hopefully you're still enjoying the content that's coming out on the channel. Always keep letting me know of new ideas as well. But like I said, I'm going for a 3-1 win. I'm confident that we can get the 3 points, and as I said at the start of the video, it's a much needed 3 points. So make sure you leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it. Also subscribe and join the Redmond army. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Peace out, people.